Good evening, folks, and welcome to Heavy Metal Talk. I'm your host, Sean Patrick Erschen, and this week we are counting down the top 10 Metallica songs. That's right, the biggest metal band in the world, in metal history. No metal band has ever rose to the fame and heights and fortune that Metallica has. That's for sure. And it can't be understated, their impact on music in general, and especially their impact in the heavy metal genre, and in particular the thrash metal genre. They were one of the forefathers, no question, of thrash metal, and that's for sure. So we're going to start off, as I like to do, with some honorable mentions. The first one is going to be Am I Evil? Which was featured on the Kill 'Em All album, which was their debut from 1983. And I actually liked the version on the Big 4 DVD the best, because it was such a great experience seeing them on stage with members of Megadeth and Slayer and Anthrax. It was just so awesome. Next up, Sad But True. So if I was going to pick one track from the Black Album to be on the top 10, it would be Sad But True, but it just misses the mark. But yes, that is badass, that song. Every time I hear it, it's like, yeah, dun, 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 dun. Awesome intro. Next honorable mention would be And Justice for All, the title track from the album, And Justice for All. It's a 9-minute epic, but it's absolutely amazing. Really heavy. I love the intro where it starts off real slow and then it gets real heavy, you know. Next honorable mention would be Seek and Destroy from the album Kill 'Em All. Certainly a favorite when they play it in concert, and you know the fans really get into it and sing along, and it's a lot of fun. So let's get to it, shall we? The top 10 list. The first one is going to be Eye of the Beholder from the And Justice for All album. Definitely one of my favorite songs from that album. I love the lyrics. You know, I really get into it whenever I hear it. Independence limited, freedom of choice is made. Awesome stuff. Number 9 is going to be Whiplash from the Kill 'Em All album. Definitely thrash at its best, you know. And this was early thrash, in your face, and I love it, you know. And Kill 'Em All is certainly an absolutely groundbreaking album for the thrash metal genre. No question about it. It's just thrash all the way. It's probably Metallica's only album that's just pure thrash all the way, you know. Number 8 is going to be Battery from Master of Puppets. Awesome track from the great Master of Puppets album, which probably is the most intense, best musically put together album, I would say, by Metallica. It's just epic, and the playing on it is just amazing, and Battery is a great example of that. That's just Metallica at the top of their game, the absolute peak of their powers. Number 7 is going to be Escape from Ride the Lightning. Whenever I hear that opening riff, it's just amazing. That opening drum beat. So awesome. I love it. Such a fun song. Really thrashy, you know. It's very heavy and very thrashy. Number 6 is going to be Damage Incorporated. Once again, from the Master of Puppets album. Another epic, and I absolutely love the bass intro by the great Cliff Burton, the legendary Cliff Burton. Such an awesome bass intro in that song, and that song is heavy as all hell. Number 5 is going to be No Remorse from the Kill 'Em All album. Now that might be kind of a surprise to you guys. It's kind of a more obscure track off the Kill 'Em All album, but I love it because it just gets right into it. Right in your face, and it just gets right to the point, gets right to business, you know. And not a lot of Metallica songs really do that, you know. It's usually like a long intro, a long build-up before they really get into it. But No Remorse just gets right into it. Number 4 is Master of Puppets, of course. You have to have that in the top 10. The title track off the legendary Master of Puppets album is just, it's a 5-star classic. It's absolutely amazing and epic. Oh, and I love how it slows down in the middle and then gets back into it. You know, it's really epic. It's awesome. And number 3 is going to be one of my absolute favorites, no question, from my favorite Metallica album, and that is Ride the Lightning. The title track, Ride the Lightning. Such an awesome, awesome song. And anytime I listen to it, I can just picture a dude in the electric chair getting juiced up and the Metallica playing in the background. Flash before my eyes. Now it's time to die. Number 2 is going to be One, and that's the song that really put them on the map, you know, when it comes to fame and fortune. That was their first ever music video. And the song on the album itself is like, I believe, over 10 minutes. Of course, the video is only like 5 minutes. They kind of, you know, edit it. But it's an amazing song. I mean, anytime I hear it, it's so intense, and I really get into it. I start singing along, start screaming my head off. Just an amazing song, and I love the story behind it. You know, a guy, a veteran from the war that lost all his limbs, sitting in the hospital. Can you imagine the horror? You can't move any limbs, you can't speak, you can't do anything. You're just stuck living, but you can't do anything, you know. Can you imagine the horror of that? And number 1 is going to be, to me, the greatest Metallica song of all time, and that is For Whom the Bell Tolls. What an amazing intro. One of the greatest intros in the history of heavy metal. Great drum work, great guitar riffs, and every member of the band just playing at their absolute all, giving it 100%, and it's just such an incredible intro with the bells tolling, and you're like, dun dun, and you hear the drums, da 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 da. It starts out real slow, but it's such a great build-up, and it gets heavier and heavier and heavier. Just an amazing song. Alright guys, so that's it, the top 10 Metallica songs. Of course, that's just my opinion. I know probably a lot of you might have thought, you know, there's nothing really from the Black Album, you know. Well, to me, when we're talking about the best of Metallica, it's the first 4 albums, and nothing comes close in my opinion. Yeah, I like the Black Album, it's a good album, and it's what put them on the map as far as becoming big and more accessible to fans, but the meat and potatoes of Metallica to me is the first 4 albums. They're all absolute masterpieces in my opinion. So guys, if you guys feel like doing a response video with your favorite top 10 Metallica tunes, feel free to do so. I had a blast doing this, and I gotta show my love for Metallica because they are one of my favorite metal bands of all time. There's no question about it. And they're just the masters of puppets, you know. So guys, thank you for joining me in heavy metal talk for the top 10 Metallica songs of all time. Tune in and rock on!